If we don't maintain good performance in this month, next month and December, then we are in for a torrid time.
British policing is under pressure like never before. Forces up and down the country must cope with new types of crime, ever-changing targets, and the biggest cuts to their budgets in modern times.
We're having vastly diminished resources. We're losing staff hand over foot. We've got much less money than we had to play with 2 years ago.
There's very much a feeling back at district that they've just run out of staff, and you're going to have a situation where you've got literally nobody on.
South Yorkshire Police has more problems than most. It's struggling to rebuild a reputation tainted by the tragedy of Hillsborough and by some of the worst crime figures in Britain.
We are one of the worst performing forces in the country. Now, that's not something that I think is acceptable.
And tensions in its communities are threatening to boil over into violence.
You're causing an atmosphere in this area so that all the communities start fighting.
No.
There's going to come a time where I might lose my head, might go out and do something stupid, you know what I mean?
The pressure is on to improve its reputation, to bring peace to its streets, and to do it all with a lot less money.
We are doing more for less, so we're trying our best, but there comes a break point, doesn't there? And that's not just rhetoric from a DCI who's got a vested interest. It's the truth.
East Sheffield, July 2013. It's one of the most deprived parts of the country. Lately, a few streets in an area known as Page Hall have become a battleground for South Yorkshire Police. Debs Parker has been a community patrol officer here for 5 years.
The issue with the kids hanging around the parents are quite happy for them to stay out till all hours, and that affects people that have got to get up for work, really. They're not doing anything other than talking, but it is classed as people see it as antisocial.
In the last few years, around 700 Roma families from Slovakia have moved into the area.
What's the matter now?
It's led to growing tension with the established communities of Page Hall, who are mostly white British or Asian.
What about these Slovakians taking over? What do you think? That we can't go to schools no more because there's no places. We can't go to doctor's surgery because there's no place. Every time I beat the dentist is full.
Right.
We've got no facilities. They took you over.
People are cutting facilities back because there's no funding. It's not just about people coming and taking over.
But they nick everything,
there's no
though.
Funding.
You'd be surprised, yeah. I was walking down the street and I seen one, and he had my clothes on. Honestly, they're the most dirtiest and pathetic people I've seen in my life.
Okay, that's your opinion, which
They're like
obviously
rats.
you're entitled to.
Yeah, honestly.
So.
You see him in the street around about 10 o'clock. There are about 10, 15 people of them. So you go outside and say to them, look, can you just move on? We've got kids sleeping. Yeah. They'll still carry on talking.
Well, make a note of it, then I'll go and knock on and advise them. And if we keep doing it, eventually they'll get the message.
Because it's going to come to the point where it's going to become a confrontation, love.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
And that's what we don't want.
It's the job of neighbourhood officers like Debs to patrol the streets, offering reassurance and dealing with minor disputes. In Page Hall, her role has become one of peacekeeper.
By me, Slovakia, no problem. By Pakistani, no problem. By me, work in Slovakia, Pakistani, no working.
Right, okay.
No process.
Well, it's not your country anyway. But Pakistani people are cleaner than you. It's simple.
All of you need to move now. Right? Where do you live? Okay. Right, you need to move now, please. Unless you're using the shops, you're not to hang around.
Page Hall has seen racial tension before. It took years for the Pakistani community to be accepted by the white British. Today, both groups are united against the Roma.
They're just running up and down. It's like bedlam. You know what I mean? You can't even sit in your own front room. 29 scratches on our car.
How long you lived there?
29 years nearly. And for 27 years it's been quite all right, but last 2 years it's a bloody disgrace.
And we can't understand how they lived in their own country. They're wanting to come to better their life. They're upsetting our life by doing it.
I didn't mind integrate. I mean, I'll be quite honest about it. I just wish they'd take the bloody hook.
Right.
I'd just like to win a lottery and bugger off, because this place has had it round here.
Deb's boss, Inspector Simon Leake, is in charge of community policing for North East Sheffield.
Nobody told us that you can expect an increase of 700 families in a very small area. And, oh, by the way, here's some extra policing staff, here's some extra doctors, you know, here's some extra city council workers who will be able to support that because you'll need it. That didn't come.
And there is a tension between communities. It's about cultural differences, poverty, a lot of people in a very small area together.
Simon must keep the number of complaints for antisocial behaviour, ASBs, below a certain figure. The problems in Page Hall mean he's missing his targets almost every day.
I've just spoken to Miss Simons about it.
OK, thank you. S&A's, we'll start with yourself, Simon.
Morning, sir. Failed on the ASB front again, 43 ASB.
Many down at Page Hall?
10. So just can't seem to get the ASB reductions right at the moment. But we'll have a good close look at them and we'll see what the issues are behind as many of them as we can and get them reduced.
OK, if you could review the ASB and come back to me tomorrow, I'd appreciate that, Simon.
OK, will do.
Police Communications, Will speaking, how can I help?
Right, yeah, there's a disturbance going on Pine Street with Page Hall. Seems to be about 100 Slovakians out on the street.
How many people?
About 100. A few of them seem to be fighting.
Night after night, Debs is called to Page Hall. As the nights get warmer, so the number of complaints against the Roma goes up.
So they can't see anybody fighting. Who's fighting?
Nobody.
Alpha Hotel 3, where's the call come from, please? We had reports of 100 Slovakians fighting in the street, and then it changed to 10, and then it changed to 15.
We're just trying to defend our house when they're trying to arrest us. I'm on this road every day telling these kids, get off the corner, go to their own house, show a bit of respect. We're British citizens. I'm born and bred here. I'm English. I'm proud to be British, you get me? But this bullshit that we have to put away day in, day out, but you don't do nothing, you come round once.
We're here every night to help you.
Okay, that's your spot. Let me talk to the camera. They come once, and then 5 minutes later, all the kids are back, but coppers aren't. Now go about your business, do your job properly.
I don't know why people blaming Roma always. Oh, the Roma community did that. The Roma community doing this, but all different community living in this country, not only just Roma.
Some in the community want Debs to clear the streets, but she has no power to do so, as she hasn't seen anyone break the law.
You don't live here. Somebody... Can you tell them?
Yeah.
They don't live there. They need to win their garden, and you know it's not good for them.
All she can do is try and persuade them to move on.
Too many people. Need to go home. Please, thank you. You all need to be going inside now. I don't want to see you on the streets, all right? Thank you. See See you tomorrow, folks.
Routine community patrols in Page Hall just don't seem to be working. The tension is getting worse, and the number of complaints of antisocial behaviour is rising. Simon decides he must take more drastic measures. He will ask his district commander for a special order, giving the police increased powers, known as a Section 30.
It's no better down there in terms of the crowds. You know, at the moment we can go to some of these groups and we can ask them to move, but they come back. I've personally attended incidents, you know, where the patrol group officers have turned up and there's large groups of people becoming involved in skirmishes and fighting with each other. And the Section 30 will allow us to say, don't come back and reform as a group, or you'll end up, you know, you'll find yourself in court.
It's clear that we've got a rising antisocial behaviour problem in this particular community. So I'm more than happy to move forward and sign off the Section 30, but what I don't want to see is ourselves back in this position again next summer.
The Section 30 will start in Page Hall in a week. It will give the police the power to break up groups they suspect might commit antisocial behaviour and to impose a nighttime curfew on teenagers.
Is it dispersal order like
Yeah, it's going to be in place till the 17th of November.
You need it because it's horrible here. I mean, you know
Yeah.
yourself, innit? Women breastfeeding the children at 10 o'clock on evening in the streets.
Right, OK.
It's just not on, is it?
Yeah, so...
Local people who can't live our normal lives, innit, Lily? All the best to you.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Hopefully it'll work, so...
Yeah, I hope so.
Page Hall isn't the only problem on Simon's patch. Just 3 miles away is Parson Cross. It's another area of high unemployment and high crime. But the residents here are predominantly white British. For the past 6 months, a Section 30 has been in place here and helped reduce antisocial behaviour. But it's just ended, and the problems are coming back.
Why don't you go and play on a field?
Fields are crap.
Because fields are crap.
PC Christine Fisher has patrolled this area for 5 years.
Go and hang about somewhere else. Come here, come here. What happened at court today?
No, I'm going tomorrow.
You're going tomorrow? Oh yeah, it's Friday, isn't it, tomorrow? Right, OK. Right, I don't want to see any of you lot round here. You can come back when youth club is open, but don't hang about here, because we're having complaints about you. Go on, then. Two of them are in court tomorrow for, well, one assaulted myself, spat in my face and had a knife on him. And the other one's racial harassment towards the takeaways. And we had a Section 30 in this area, and it's just finished, unfortunately. So we can't even disperse them at the minute. We just moved you from there. Why are you going back?
For the 6 months of the Section 30, Parson Cross was flooded with police. With increased powers of arrest and the 9 p.m. curfew for teenagers, it helped keep the figures for antisocial behaviour down. But all that may be about to change.
The residents are definitely worried in this area that the Section 30 is not on anymore, because the Section 30 in Page Hall has just started. All resources will be down in Page Hall. So we'll just have to manage it as best we can, I think.
Every neighbourhood team wants more officers on their patch. The problem is that the force is being hit by the biggest cuts to its budget in modern times, a total of £75 million. And this means fewer neighbourhood officers, not more. Deputy Chief Constable Andy Holt is responsible for ensuring South Yorkshire Police balances its books.
Over the next 3 or so years, you're looking at 300 police officers posts coming from the organisation, about 100 PCSOs, so that's almost a third of our PCSOs. We're talking about a further 350 police staff, in addition to the hundreds of police staff that we've already lost. And so, you know, those are going to be really challenging figures to achieve as we go forward, and the budgets are reducing significantly. I think it would be naive of me to say that we're going to be able to deliver exactly the same level of policing with the level of cuts that we face.
Each week, Andy meets his officers to ensure the force is on track to deliver future cuts. And neighbourhood policing is top of the list.
You'll see that from today's date to get us to the 31st of March 2015, the force needs to save £35 million. And we're seeking to take somewhere around £11.5 million out of district policing. And the force has already started thinking about how we would seek to address continued cuts in 16, 17, 17, 18, which is years 2 and 3 of the next CSR period.
Yeah, it's taken us some while to get to the point where everybody says, all right, I get the scale of the challenge. My reading in the rooms is we're in for austere times for us, as far as the eye can see at the moment.
Afternoon, everybody. Right, let's crack on then.
It's week 1 of the Section 30 in Page Hall, and Simon has planned a show of force.
Today, we're all pretty much going to be in Page Hall. I want to make sure that everybody knows down there in those communities how serious we're taking this. A really robust approach to policing the Section 30, breaking up the groups and making a visible show that we're breaking up the groups and talking to people and making sure that they understand that when the group's broken up, it doesn't reform either somewhere locally or later on in the evening. Take time to explain to people, especially those who don't understand English so well. You've all got your translation cards, and make sure that they are clear about what we mean down there.
Simon has drafted in officers from across his area, including those from neighbouring Parson Cross. And for today only, he's been lent staff from other units in the force.
We might be tripping over ourselves a little bit, but I want people to be left with the impression that we've been down here. You know, what stronger message can you get than actually investing police resources into an area? See, these need moving on.
Go inside, please.
Help, mate. Well, if you look up and down Popple Street and Iron Street, there's about 60, 70 kids on here, all booting balls against the wall and stuff. Can we get some people down here just to get them dispersed and cleared off?
With the order now in place, the police have the power to break up groups they suspect might commit antisocial behaviour.
What are you doing, fellas? Get off them.
See you later, boys.
I don't want to see anybody on this street anymore. Just get rid of them.
Yeah.
And if they start coming back, they've already been warned.
Are you going in? Hey, go on.
It's only just... Hey, we've just cleared all this lot. I want to keep it clear now of people.
Just said 1 minute.
Just give him a ticket. Just give him a ticket.
Offer India 1-2 kilo.
As night falls, the police enforce the curfew against teenagers.
Guys, you need to go home, please. It's on curfew time.
Are you getting off now, fellas?
Yeah, it's going.
Yeah, that's it. OK, good night. I know it's like herding cats. Just some of these are young kids that need really telling to get off and get home and get in now.
Simon and his team patrol the area, asking anyone still on the streets to go home.
Slovakia no good. And we're good.
You going home now? I've just spoke to one at PCSO to just be a little bit more robust about the approach, but the faster we clear people, the quicker they get back out. But we've got to deal with it, because if I lived in one of these houses here, this was happening every single night, I'd be desperate. Are you moving on then, fellas? I've asked you once. That's going to generate about 50 calls of antisocial behaviour in the morning.
Page Hall now the priority, Parson Cross has lost its regular neighbourhood patrols. There's just not enough officers to cover both areas, and the residents of Parson Cross are starting to notice.
I know that predominantly we're focused around Page Hall, away from our area, and I know feedback's coming in from communities. Where are you? Where are you? I'll open it up to you all. Is anybody who wants to talk about it first?
Well, what is it to talk about? We're not getting onto it. We're not touching our areas. Got a job up there on Thursday, I think it was, and went up, and people all the saying, "Oh, I thought you were dead. Oh, thought you'd retired. Oh, where you been?"
It is difficult, and I think we are going to have a difficult time trying to manage being elsewhere and reassuring our community that we are still doing what we're doing. But we have to be realistic with them as well.
Oh, I know.
We have to be honest, and I think that's...
Well, I am being honest. I'm just going to say, well, why are you down there? Because I'm directed. Yeah. Who's directing you? Well, the gaffer. Well, we're not happy. Well, from the gaffer. I'm quite happy to give you his number if you want.
The realism is, I can't say you can go out today and start patrolling. It's not going to happen. There's just physically not that many people. The resources will go where the resources need to go at the moment, and that's the decision is they'll be there.
The depleted number of police officers in Parson Cross has led to an increase in antisocial behaviour. Although the neighbourhood team has stopped their regular patrols, officers must still answer emergency calls about disturbances in the area.
Go on then, need you to go.
Without the Section 30, there's no curfew for teenagers, so once again groups are roaming the streets.
Guys, it's your last warning, you better go. Alpha Sierra 1.
Third.
We've got some large groupings again around Buchanan shops. Have we got a dogman booked on tonight, please?
Greg, Wilco, where do you want us, mate?
As the situation escalates, a youth is arrested.
Okay, come on. Get in the van. Come on. What the fuck am I
say, it'd been worn multiple times, it's all over.
We had 5 cars. There were 3 dogmen and 2 beat cars. It's escalated because we've not been in the area, we've been obviously tasked elsewhere. They've been just left to run riot up there, and they just think they can get away with anything and everything. It's just escalated and obviously it's become a problem now, and we've got to tackle it. So I think we've got a bit of a battle on us hands.
For the past 3 weeks, Page Hall has been getting all the attention. But despite the greater police presence and the increased powers of the Section 30, many local residents are still unhappy.
Guess what everybody's talking about? Section 30, not
Okay.
working. Just tell us, Sam, your opinion on it. Has it worked so far?
It's difficult. It's not as straightforward as you would think. We can't just break up any old group. There are other jobs to do
But
as
have you got
well.
something in pipeline, something severe than Section... What's next up from Section 30?
Well, this isn't just about policing an area. It's about the litter. It's about the numbers of people in the area. It's about the type of housing we've got. We probably pick up antisocial behaviour problems because of other issues that have put people into an area.
We do. We don't want to move. We don't think we should. But it's become...
You know, I sympathise with the whole situation, I really do.
You know, what, they're waiting for World War III to kick off in here now.
Or totally. Or forward, be honest. And the person never speaking.
Many residents were convinced the Section 30 would clear the streets of the Roma. The problem is these residents have a very different view to the police of what counts as antisocial behaviour.
With this Section 30 now, with this new direction, none of them are being antisocial. Or it's a case of what is antisocial. 40 people stood outside a chip shop. People may see as intimidating, having to walk past them, and it is intimidating if you've got to walk past them, but what are they doing that's antisocial? Because all they're doing is standing there chatting.
But this is where we've got to get a message across and everybody's rights balanced up here, because people have got a right to a private life or to go wherever they please, freedom.
It's
but
the way
equally...
of the Slovakian community, isn't it, to stand in the street and chat. That's what they do.
Yes.
That's not, in my opinion, what I would call antisocial, but I can see why other members of the community might think it's antisocial.
If you're not happy that that's antisocial behaviour, we don't do anything in terms of act on the group.
The community were expecting us to move on groups. That's the expectation of the Asian community, that the Slovak groups will be moved on.
Even telling us there's a group there, we'll move them.
Yeah, well, we then talk back, don't we, saying we can't unless there is.
I think we're heading for a fall. I think it's been either rightly or wrongly explained to the Asian community that groups will be moved on, and that is their expectation now. And that is what's been used to keep a lid on it for the last few months, this up-and-coming Section 30, and this is going to happen, and now it's not happening. I think we're going to go back to problems with them. I think it might erupt.
The Section 30 was supposed to reduce community tensions. But the perceived failures of the police mean it may be having the opposite effect.
I understand that you need to communicate with our new neighbours and you need to build some sort of relationship with them, but I really do think you're sending out the wrong message.
What, by communicating with the community?
Well, no, by not doing anything. It's sort of high visibility, no action.
If they aren't being antisocial, but...
What can you define being antisocial?
Antisocial, if people are kicking the ball against your window or anything like
well,
that.
they do that
leaning
every
against
single
your
day.
car.
Every single day. I can show you at least 20 scratches that I've got on my car. Is that antisocial? Is that criminal damage?
If you see somebody do it, then you
well, that's
obviously...
the thing, innit? How do you see somebody doing it?
Well, if people... it's criminal. If you see somebody doing it, then we can do something about it.
Yeah, but that's the thing, I don't.
they're causing a lot of problems, but you don't see that.
I want people to understand the difficulties that the police face when they're dealing with this multicultural issue, that people are perceiving the Section 30 as the kind of clear up the streets order. They think it's the saviour of the area. And we have to break that myth sometimes.
The protests of the Asian community in Page Hall has caught the attention of the far-right English Defence League, the EDL. Rumours are spreading that a local derelict pub is going to become a mosque, and the EDL has threatened to march through the area to stop it. Adding the far right to the problems of Page Hall is the last thing Simon needs.
If they turned up there, a right-wing group in that area to demonstrate against the mosque, without any police intervention, then I would anticipate there'd be a high risk of disorder. I think there were about 175, weren't there, that were saying that they were going to protest. You might need to open a silver up to manage intelligence and look at a forward planning process.
It's a Saturday. We've got limited cover on Saturdays, and if they do tip up, we need somebody just to make a definitive decision about what they feel.
OK, we need to just sit down and come up with a plan to make sure we've got coverage. If there's a likelihood of community tensions rising and disorder because some people turn up and they've got different views, we need to keep looking at the community and making sure that we're not missing something really, and that we're reassuring.
Starved of its routine police patrols, Parson Cross is generating more and more complaints.
Police emergency.
Hi, there's about 15 youth outside.
Right.
There's racial abuse and what do you think you are, stupid packies and things like that.
Officers are travelling over, OK? Just advising you to stay inside and don't get involved, all right?
The neighbourhood team is regularly called to a takeaway shop, a favourite hangout for local youths.
Why don't you just leave him alone out here? Why don't you just move on down here? Him, Sam, do you know what it is?
Hey?
Bothering people. So why don't you just move on? Go out that way before everybody starts ringing up.
I know what I mean, I didn't drink all of them.
Hey?
I know what I mean,
Well, if you grew up in here in gangs of 20 or 30, you're intimidating people. People won't come to shops because they're scared
we know
of you.
everyone around here though, so they're not going to be scared of us.
Well, they are because they're ringing us.
Normal people wanting to
They are because they're ringing us,
stuff.
aren't they?
Can't you? You must not enjoy.
Come away. Come away. Hey?
Move away and stop bothering them.
We're in stuck right up at the minute. Yeah, if you get a football off someone, come and drop it.
I'm pissed off. We're just wandering about and paying them lip service.
It just makes us look stupid. Who's in with Hood up that don't want to be on film but keeps bothering us?
Without any clear evidence of a crime, there's nothing the police can do. But they are soon called again.
Police emergency. Hi, I rang up a bit ago. I've rang up about 2-3 times this evening.
You've already called us, have you?
Yes, I have.
Was it Sanko's? Is that the name?
That's right, that's the takeaway. Can you please do something about it, on? It's not getting any better, it's becoming worse, and the police are still not doing nothing about it.
Oi, you lot need to move away from here now. Go and hang around somewhere else. Somewhere else, other than here. Come on, guys, I've asked you nicely. Go on, go on. Hello. Something else gone off?
Yeah, the same as one is coming.
Same one?
Yeah, same group, they coming here. One customer there.
something they tell them that after it's free going home.
The problem that we've got is obviously we've got no power to remove them unless they're actually doing anything. If you have any more problems tonight, phone us on the 101 number.
Oh, look at them. Full packages here. PC Burton, PC Fisher. God damn! God damn it, Power!
Can I?
Oh, they did me head in. I'm gonna ask for it on Wednesday.
But there's no else we can do.
I know.
Got no powers.
I've just said that. Got no powers to move them on at all. And it's very, very frustrating. I want to be able to take these kids to justice. I want to give peace to the people that are phoning in. But one, I haven't got the power to do so. And two, I've not got enough evidence at the minute to do it. It's frustrating. And I've not got enough staff, or there's not enough staff to actually physically get hold of these kids. I mean, I've tried everything, speaking to them like an adult, and then they talk to you like rubbish, so I've spoke to them like rubbish back. I've tried to offer them, you know, everything, and they just don't respond at all. The board, well, that's their excuse. The board, there's nothing to do. You tell us where we can go, where can we hang out. It's like anywhere other than here.
Later that same evening, Christine is back, responding to yet another emergency call about the same group of youths.
Move. Move, no, move. Because I've told you to move. Move. Go home, because I'm sick of all of you. This is 5th time we've been up here tonight because of your lot. Shift. Yes, shift. See, you're all out now, aren't you? Love it. Absolutely love it. Go on. Go on. Come on.
Yo, cheers, man.
Go ahead.
Cheers.
You're coming. You're coming. Threatening to smash my face in.
Simon has called a meeting to discuss the worsening situation in Parson Cross. For Christine and the other officers on the ground, the answer is simple. More cops and the greater power offered by a Section 30.
We have not got enough staff. We really haven't. Like last night, there was Fran and Chris out, and there was at least 40, 50 kids out on the street. How can you do that? You just can't. It's impossible. So you might as well just withdraw from the area, because you just make a target for yourself as well as the victims. You're making a target for yourself.
I'll go around the table and give you the intelligence as you see it generally, and paint that picture of what we've got. It's focused on Parsons Cross, and as I understand it, it relates to young people getting well out of hand.
We've got, obviously, loads and loads of incidents called in from Sanko's, which is owned by the Aslan family. We've got a locality. There's about 20 in there.
Kids, but 10 well-known.
They've been dragging customers out at shop and things like that, and they've been attacking the staff at Sanko's, but again, no specific people identified for that either. We've got no power, and they were just stood there going, wow, what are you going to do?
I feel like my hands are tied. They're just walking all over us. They're making us look stupid.
We are struggling. We really are struggling.
All right, so the case is made for the necessity. The case is made that the problem's there. I dread to say it, but we might be in dispersal order zone again. That's going to be a real tough one for me to manage and not necessarily justify, but it's we've obviously got one in Page Hall. And it's difficult to resource at best. My view at the moment is that it's no good implementing an order that we can't resource.
We will not go running around the area for him. We will only intervene where there's a significant risk of harm that you would expect us to intervene with.
Simon can't give the team what they want. He just doesn't have the officers.
It's right for a Section 30, this area, and it, you know, if I had the resources to do it, I'll definitely take that approach. But I'm not sure at the moment, in the climate that we're at, with pressures in other areas of Sheffield, that it would be the right way forward. So, you know, sometimes you have to pick your battles.
The contrast with Page Hall is striking. A continuous and heavy police presence, coupled with the greater powers of the Section 30, has continued over the summer. But the tensions surrounding the Roma community have just got worse. The police call a residents' meeting to defuse the situation.
Tension are building up on the streets. You're going to either do something or something else is going to. Word spreading. You're going to come out then, Simon. It'll be too late for you. We want our streets back. I told him last week as well, and I mentioned to him, he don't want to hear the word tension. He's got no answer after Section 13. What's going to happen after that? How many have been arrested? How many people are arrested? I understand your point, your hands up from you know what I mean? But your officers have got to do a little bit more. It's not working. It's not there. Your police officers don't do nothing. They don't do nothing. And there's going to come a time, we don't want to do nothing. We've lived in this area, we're not causing no trouble. I'm not a bad guy, you know what I mean? But there's going to come a time where I might lose my head, might go out and do something stupid, you know what I mean?
You keep telling us that they're not being antisocial, they spit on floor, that's being antisocial, they litter on floor, that's antisocial, but you still won't move them. I personally think you're causing an atmosphere in this area so that all the communities start fighting. This is what's going to happen in the end. This is what you're doing. You're forcing our hand. And if you want us to fight, just tell us when and watch the fight.
Their patience is short, and what concerns me now is that they were actively talking about taking action of their own. I'm genuinely concerned that we need, whatever plan we need to increase activity in the area, police-wise and reassurance-wise, we need to get on with it.
So I just need to evaluate what we've got, because the world's changed since we've been down at Pikes.
We need a plan for the next 48 hours, I think. Certainly the rest of tonight and tomorrow night. But I think if we up the visibility now, we might head off something that could affect us long into the future.
Simon decides to deploy his team to patrol Page Hall that night and briefs his district commander on the growing threat to the area.
Sir, it's Simon Lee. Good evening to you. You all right? It's something that might affect us over the next 48 hours, which I'm concerned about. The PAC meeting tonight was a bit, well, it was more than fractious. About 100 people turned up. There was a call to arms tonight by some of the Pakistani community. A group had begun to develop. I think over the next 24 to 48 hours we could see some dust-ups happening. We could see some organisation behind some of those groups who are making new friends with an anti-Roma line.
With the heavy police presence, the streets remain calm. The following day, Simon briefs the district command team, who will assess the level of risk and decide what needs to be done.
Issues around Fir Vale, Page Hall, really were crystallised for us last night at the PAC meeting that you chaired. Simon. We spoke late last night.
That is the most heated meeting that I've been to, of many heated meetings at Fir Vale, and I had concerns about the call of action, really, and I think it's a racist overtone, that we want our streets back, and that was kind of reciprocated by cheers, applaud, and people standing up and, you know, cheering those who were most vocal.
Yeah.
We are aware of a closed Facebook group and a closed physical group of people who are meeting, and my sources say that that is a pretty racist torrent of anti-Roma verbalisation, if you want.
Okay. If the groups who are beginning to talk in vigilante terms and taking issues into their own hands gather momentum, we're going to see somebody get hurt, and that's either somebody who they perceive to be from the Roma Slovak community, and indeed, if that harm is brought, then there's likely to be reprisal. So we could see harm and injury all round. Who are the people last night making the verbal threats around, if you don't do something, we will? Because I'd like us to intervene with those people before they gather any momentum. Not suggesting they are offenders, but they might be the subjects we want to focus on to try and mitigate any hostility or violence towards Roma Slovak community.
With violent racial conflict now a very real possibility, the far-right EDL has seized its chance. Its leaders have announced that they will, after all, be holding a march between Parson Cross and Page Hall. This is despite the fact that the derelict pub that was rumoured to be turning into a mosque is actually likely to become a Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Good morning, everyone.
Assistant Chief Constable Max Sahota will lead the operation to police the march.
So just in terms of community tensions...
OK, sir, a couple of things then. The EDL are very aware of the recent community tensions in Page Hall. The reality of the pub not becoming a mosque, it's going to be a corporate fast food outlet, is now secondary to their intentions for the day. We expect the presence of the EDL to attract counter-protest and an adverse reaction from local Muslim communities and recognised protest groups. They genuinely seem to see this as an opportunity for recruitment. With the demographics of the area they're going to, they think they'll get a lot of local community support.
That's the dynamic that really concerns me, because the area where they're intending to have that assembly is between two distinctly different areas. On one side you have essentially white British communities, Longley, Southey and Parsons Cross, and conversely on the other side of Barnsley Road you've got some very diverse communities, and it's the reaction that you potentially get within those communities that's the added dimension that causes me some real concern.
We need to get out to our community so they understand why we're doing what we're doing. That the fact is that a banning doesn't... We can't ban certain things. Whatever our views are on the EDL, what we have to do is we have to ensure that we allow them to have their peaceful protest, because that's what they're legitimately allowed to do. That's what the law says. So we allow them to protest, we protect our communities, and we safeguard the city, and that's what we're about.
Of the march, Debs and other members of the neighbourhood team are out in Page Hall reassuring people that their streets will be kept safe.
Just come to make sure everything's all right today. You know, are you aware of the EDL march today? We're just patrolling the area, want to make sure that you're safe and everything's all right. And yeah, so you've not heard of anybody potentially getting involved or anything? No. Right, OK. We are going to be in the air. There's going to be a couple of us all day circling around, so any problems, just give us a shout.
The force has taken the threat of disorder very seriously. It's a huge and complex operation involving 1,200 officers from 15 different forces.
We think there'll be about 500 to 600 EDL supporters today.
And it will be South Yorkshire Police, a force struggling to fund regular neighbourhood patrols, that will have to foot the entire bill.
You can never be sure about how many people you're going to get. I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't, because if I have not enough resources and it all kicks off and there's a massive, huge disorder and we get big riots and vehicles burning, well, I've not had enough resources, I've not kept the streets safe. If I have too many cops and nothing happens, then I've got to justify the use of those cops somewhere along the line to local politicians and to the public, I suppose, ultimately.
Yeah, serial ready for deployment, whoever.
Neighbourhood Officer Gail Kirby will patrol the area between predominantly white Parson Cross and ethnically mixed Page Hall.
The tensions are running a little bit high there. So there's every possibility that people could jump onto that issue. We've got a combination that could cause us a lot of problems. Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, Bob.
In summary, EDL are meeting up there, marching to Sheffield Lane Top. It's the area that divides basically the two communities that are at odds. We are basically the meat in that sandwich. We've got to keep these two opposing factions apart.
If there are problems between the two communities today, it's going to take a lot of work to get confidence back and to get those people living together.
Local Asian and anti-fascist groups have turned up to oppose the EDL march.
They have over 40 mosques in Sheffield. At which point does diversity become takeover?
They've got 20 Asian males congregating at the rear of the opposition groups who are currently putting on mass.
There's 20 at the counter demonstration site. They are further forward towards Barnsley Road, but no issues.
The concern that I have is just that if you get one incident where the Asian youth attack an EDL member or the EDL attack an Asian youth, it just sparks a critical incident and it just escalates.
The EDL try to break through police lines towards the Asian demonstrators.
Into code 2, yeah, that's appropriate.
Move forward 40 metres, please. Show of strength.
They made a concerted effort to push through, but Simon did an excellent job in containing that, and they now seem to be moving in an orderly fashion back to Wordsworth. I think we've just about won.
For the police, the operation is judged a success. Hostile groups have been kept apart, and the local streets have remained peaceful. The cost for the force of policing this single event is nearly £500,000. In Page Hall, the Section 30 is still in force, as are the regular police patrols.
Off the road! Off the road!
The streets are quieter. The longer, colder nights have forced most people indoors. But few expect this uneasy peace to last for long.
I think I've learned that personally, to resolve the issues of Page Hall is out of my hands, and you've just got to sometimes accept that it's going to take a lot longer than you anticipated. The problem might get worse before it gets better.
Lads, take the football to the park.
In Parson Cross, regular neighbourhood patrols have been stepped up, but the area is still plagued by antisocial behaviour. Gail and the team are doing the best they can to take the culprits off the streets.
Need to formally arrest you on suspicion of racially aggravated harassment ×2 and racially aggravated Section 4. Next time, love, it'll be 3 o'clock in the morning, the door will go through. We're trying to be straight with you. He's a 16-year-old kid for harassment, and what they're subject to there up there, whether he says he's involved or not, is appalling.
That's your opinion, and he's got to have his say, auntie.
Exactly.
Right.
But he's not joining his run-off, and that's what we're saying to you.
He's responsible for his own actions, and I ain't told him to do what he's just done, run off from you, have I?
I could have handcuffed him, I could have grabbed hold of him, I could have dragged him out, but I chose not to because you were here as his mother, right? Somebody has to take some responsibility.
And control.
South Yorkshire Police faces a further £42 million in cuts over the next 4 years. The entire neighbourhood policing budget is now under review. Even the limited service offered in Parson Cross may soon become a thing of the past.
To me, the future is quite bleak. This is the first time in my career where we've seen people saying to us, well, you haven't got that option because there is no money for that. I certainly think that the sense of neighbourhood policing needs to be at the heart of everything, but ultimately, as an organisation, we've got to make some decisions about how we spend the money.
We just had a call that the male from earlier on has been sighted. No. This is the problem. It is resource intensive. It's a pain in the backside, to be quite honest with you. But equally, we need to speak with him.
Alpha 12, we've got him.
Hello, control to all officers. He has been detained. You can cancel observations and searches.
Expensive babysitting.
Locked up till Monday.
We stand or fall in terms of burglary as a force in Sheffield. If we don't maintain good performance in this month, next month and December, then we are in for a torrid time.
From when retail work was considered unladylike to the modern girls who turned shopping into leisure, we tell the story of Shop Girls tomorrow night at 9. Next tonight on BBC Two, All Architecture begins with the tent. Tom Dickoff investigates for The Culture Show.